Mayor?
Yes.
How are you getting along?
Fine, Mr. President. Wonderful. Thank you very much. How are you?
Oh, fine. Are you getting any rest this hot summer?
No, we're not, because we have racial problems here, and I spend about 24 hours a day among them, and that's the only way to keep them quiet. I get insulted, but I don't let them insult me. We just keep on moving.
Goodness. What percentage of Baltimore is Negro?
60% in our schools and 40% whites in the schools, 60% Negroes, and the opposite is just in the 60% whites and 40% Negro population. But they're concentrated, you see, all around the core of the city. We're building a beautiful city right here in the business area, but all around us we have bad conditions.
Could I talk to you on something very personal to me, and that in the strictest of confidence?
Yes, indeed.
I don't want anybody to know it but me and you. I just might have to urge you to come over here and help run Washington for us.
Well, I'd like to think about it for a minute or two.
We have 60% Negroes. We also ought to have some young, able, attractive Negro in the administration. We under this new reorganization, I told him I was going to get the best man in America to run the city. I rather think that I'm going to have to ask you to do that, and I would like to take a young, able, some fellow that could stand some training that was a Negro and put him in as an assistant and let you try to train him to see how it worked out, see if he could ever take the thing over when you got to where you felt up to it. But I'm just afraid I'm going to have to ask it, and it's a lot better assignment than Vietnam, although it's not a very good one.
Yes, could I think it over and talk with some people here?
That could give you fringe benefits, or you could go out on a boat, take some people now and then, and try to ease some tensions and the sports and things of that kind. What's your salary over there?
$25,000.
Well, you get about the same here. You get $28,500. I know you don't like the thought of undertaking a heavy thing and a new thing, but I just think the next year or so you just got to do this. I just don't think. I think we got to draft you. I don't think you got any choice.
All right, let me. I have to talk it over, because naturally with my wife. And
I think we ought to have a Negro somewhere in the chain of command, and I think he could carry out your instructions.
All right, I'll call you.
If you don't, I'm going to send you to Nang.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. I'll call you. Bye.
I became the first chief executive black in the nation. I became the first housing director black in the nation. I joined John Lindsay's cabinet when I fell out with President Johnson, went to New York as chairman of the Housing Authority, the biggest in the nation. I became the first African American leader of mayors in this country. I served with five presidents side by side. Johnson, of course, was the best. I sort of struck the line that felt that I could take comfortably, meaningfully, helpfully, and I went on from there. There was not a committee that was appointed from Washington or from this region that I was not appointed to. I went back to Washington and started my service from there as the first African American to sit as the executive in this country. Now, Renee, I don't care what anybody said. I had some people who didn't like what I was doing.
What do you mean? Why didn't they like it?
They thought I was a little too nice. Thought I should be harder, tougher. My job, I thought, was to get something done for the people of the city. I embarked to do that. I tried hard to do that, and I came very near doing it.
But some people felt at the time that you weren't militant enough.
That's right. That, I mean, he's a nice guy, well met. People like to shake his hand. People like to say hello. But he's not up to it.
How do you feel as mayor of the nation's capital city? Walking around here tonight, you have on a bulletproof vest. How does that make you feel?
I feel like the mayors of New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Cleveland, Detroit. We all embattled.
It's to reclaim the community.
The idea of Mayor Berry making public drug marches is a joke to many.
Well, I've known the mayor now, I would say, for over 20-some years.
Who charge that Berry's personal problems make him the last person who ought to lead the war against drugs in D.C.
Oh, I've said very publicly that I think that the mayor's an abuser of drugs.
Calvin Lockridge is a school board member. He represents the district that includes Mellon Street, where the mayor made his night drug march.
I have never seen the mayor use drugs, but I have sources who tell me that they have used drugs with the mayor, and I believe those sources.
Have you ever used drugs?
No.
Never in your life?
No.
Because a lot of people here say
I said
that
no.
they've talked with people.
They've talked to people
who
they don't know. They can't find one soul.
Who did use drugs with
They
you.
can't find one soul that's credible. I've been around
Marijuana,
people. I don't need that.
Cocaine.
Don't need it.
Crack.
Don't need it.
You, Marion Berry, are drug-free.
Don't need it. I go take it. Well, I won't take it now because I'm not for doing all that every month in the bar business.
That raises a question. Why not go to a reputable hospital and say, here I am.
I'll do that.
There are no questions. Right now, no time passes.
I'll do
6
that.
hours.
I'll do that.
But there were days.
But you know what I could do? I could write on 48 hours, and half the people say the machine was fixed.
Allegations of the mayor's drug habits became public in 1983 when this woman, Karen Johnson, Berry's personal friend, claimed she'd used cocaine with the mayor and sold it to him 20 or 30 times. She went to jail on drug charges and served time for refusing to testify against Mayor Berry.
No comment.
Then last December, here at this Ramada Inn hotel, police received a tip that another friend of the mayor's, Charles Lewis, was inside dealing drugs. Moments before police were set to move in, detectives got word that of all people, the mayor himself was inside. Well, what was going on in the Ramada Inn? Tell, because...
A social visit, that's all.
A social visit?
See, I come up the rough side of the mountain, and so I have a tendency to associate with people who have problems, personal problems, or societal problems.
But you're mayor, and
well,
you have an image.
I have my own style.
And you have a drug war.
I have my own style.
And I just wanted to know, what steps have you or will you begin to take to get more police on the street?
For one, we're going to order, we're ordering 7 new squad cars.
Are they going to walk the street, though? Yes. Okay, we're going to have foot patrol.
Yeah.
Okay.
It seems like you have no handle on this.
Well, there's no mayor in America that can stop each and every one of those murders. What we hope we can do is mobilize our community to slow them down.
Also the baddest mayor in the United States. All right.
What kind of a lifestyle do you have?
You see part of it now. I like fish, so I'm eating some fish, but
You take a lot of hits on this, but you're not the leader, you're not the guy to be leading the drug war.
I am, but I'm leading. I'm mayor. Got all the powers of mayor. Got a lot of respect out here, you can see it.
So it's the end of a day.
115.
Overnight in D.C., we had 6 shootings, one fatal, one very critical. All of them appear at this point to be drug-related in some way.
Never ended.
What do you think when you hear that?
We're going to try to make it in.
In a few hours, the embattled mayor will awaken to more bad news from the battlefield. Thursday morning begins with more bad news for Washington Mayor Marion Barry.
District Police Chief Maurice Turner is expected to declare a crime emergency today.
There's been yet another drug-related death.
It's depressing to go to bed at night and knowing how many people. Like we went last night, it was 1. By this time, it's 1, it's 2.
It's depressing and it's overwhelming the Barry administration. Drugs come from South America, guns come from Virginia and Maryland, dealers come from New York, and pressure comes from all sides, even the very political base that has helped keep Barry in power.
They're saying that we've got a war on drugs, and we're fighting a war on drugs, but nothing's being done. Basically, in most of our communities, we're not fighting a war, we're collecting bodies.
I think we need some movement from you.
A group of angry ministers from the same drug-plagued district Mayor Barry toured last night. They're demanding more cops on patrol and an immediate curfew on teenagers.
18 and unders, they're out there, they're selling drugs, and we need to smack their hands now.
Mr. Mayor, I think we need to move now, and I think that even tomorrow is too late. We've already had 2 shootings in our neighborhood in Benning Heights, Marshall Heights last evening.
Well, we leave this room, if we don't get some kind of commitment for some help now, we're going to come back. But Mr. Mayor, we're going to come back, we're going to show you all something. We're going to come back to people.
The mayor tries to stay ahead of the steamroller.
We're clear we haven't. This is an action meeting, so we're going to get some action.
We need to come to a close. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Barry doesn't think a curfew will work.
It's a simplistic solution to a complex problem.
He promises the ministers an answer at 4 this afternoon.
We'll get some action.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right with you, Doc. Right with you.
What's driving the fear here in Washington is violence and the killings.
He goes to his police chief for advice, the same chief who has branded the mayor's anti-drug Operation Clean Sweep a failure. The mayor called the chief brain dead for trying to cut the program's budget.
He and I have disagreements like everybody has disagreements. I'm going to continue to lobby the mayor for more police officers. He's going to continue to tell me to do more with less.
You satisfied with what the chief's doing?
Of course. If I weren't, he wouldn't be sitting here.
Thursday afternoon, running late. The angry ministers waiting for an answer on the curfew.
Welcome back. We've been working hard on this all day. We have some good news and some bad news. Fred, the bad news.
The unfortunate fact is...
The city's attorney says the mayor doesn't have authority to order a curfew.
Based on that, we could stay here all day and haggle about what we're discussing.
The good news is that we will assign 50 officers from SOD to the 6th District to augment the regular police officers out there.
I'm happy to report at this hour that Chief Turner has scheduled 50 policemen to begin work in the 6th District. I learned a long time ago that you bang a man over the head to get his attention. Once you get his attention, you start talking with him. We got their attention, and we've been talking.
So how did that go, Mayor?
Wonderful. Wonderful. I mean, another day in the life of a big city mayor.
What do you say? It's another crisis.
You know, you just solve one at a time and keep on solving them. We just get good at it, that's all.
Last week, the council approved the curfew Mayor Barry didn't want. It goes into effect next week.
A grand jury is investigating Mayor Barry's connection with the accused drug dealer he met at the Ramada Inn. Since our 48 hours, Barry has announced that he's running for a fourth term. And Police Chief Maurice Turner has retired from the force, become a Republican, and is thinking about running against his old boss, Marion Barry.
Tonight,
I'm asking for the vote of every single African American citizen in this country who wants to see a better future.
I do know Walter Washington personally. I'm a huge fan of his. He was kind enough to help me and mentor me.
After years and years of wage stagnation, we are finally seeing rising wages.
How long have you been at Fox 5?
Since April.
April, that's what I thought. In this town, we decide what's important, what's not important at the station and the community.
Look how much African American communities have suffered under Democratic control. What do you have to lose?
Do we really have 3 weeks to address this issue? Shouldn't it happen now? Too worried about more kids dying in that 3-week period of time?
There are a lot of things we're doing. I'd rather take some time with the youth and with the leaders here and actually agree on some things that are going to work. And I'm saying month by month personally with our youth, and then the mayor can talk about a youth council he's putting together out there, work with them on a regular basis. I'd rather do it right than try to just do something and make everybody feel happy.
Unemployment claims have hit a 45-year low.
We know that we have a long, hard campaign in front of us, but Senator Obama, this city knows a lot about hard, long, door-to-door campaigns. We pledge to fight every step of the way with you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce you to our next American president, Barack Obama.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. And something I'm very proud of, African American unemployment stands at the lowest rate ever recorded.